Chapter 1: The Summons. The sky over the human colony of New Carthage burned crimson as the massive Zorathian warship descended, its sleek obsidian hull reflecting the dying sunlight. The vessel, shaped like a predatory bird with wings outstretched, hovered ominously above the central plaza, casting a shadow that swallowed the entire settlement. Captain Ethan Drake stood among the crowd of colonists, his hand resting on the pulse pistol at his belt. He had fought in the Human-Zorathian War a decade ago, and though peace had been declared, the sight of their ships still sent a chill down his spine. A beam of violet light shot from the warship's underbelly, and a figure materialized in the plaza, Princess Lysara of Zorath, draped in iridescent robes that shimmered like liquid metal. Her silver hair flowed like mercury, and her piercing violet eyes scanned the crowd before locking onto Ethan. "You," she declared, her voice resonant and commanding. "Human Captain Ethan Drake. You will come with me." The colonists murmured in fear, but Ethan didn't flinch. "Why?" he demanded. Lysara's lips curled into a smirk. "Because I require a human, for an experiment." Chapter 2: The Unthinkable Request. Ethan found himself aboard the Zorathian warship, standing in a grand chamber lined with holographic displays of star systems. Lysara paced before him, her movements graceful yet predatory. "You humans are fascinating," she mused. "Your defiance, your unpredictability. My scientists believe your species possesses a unique genetic trait, one that could save my people." Ethan crossed his arms. "Get to the point, Princess." She stopped and faced him, her gaze unwavering. "I require your DNA. Not just a sample. A direct contribution." Ethan blinked. "You mean?" "Yes," she said, her tone devoid of embarrassment. "A hybrid offspring. Zorathian fertility has declined. Our genetic purity has weakened us. But your kind, you adapt. You survive. A child of our bloodlines could be the key to our survival." Ethan's jaw tightened. "You want me to mate with you?" Lysara tilted her head. "Is the idea so repulsive?" "It's not about repulsion," Ethan snapped. "It's about choice. You just ordered me here like some breeding stock." The princess's eyes flashed. "And if I commanded it?" Ethan met her gaze. "Then I'd defy you." Silence hung between them. Then, unexpectedly, Lysara laughed, a rich, melodic sound. "Good. I was hoping you would." Chapter 3: The Game of Power. Ethan soon learned that Lysara's request was more than a desperate plea. It was a political maneuver. The Zorathian High Council had ordered her to secure human DNA by any means necessary, but Lysara had her own agenda. "If I return with a hybrid heir, the Council will name me Empress," she confessed one night in her private quarters. "But if I fail, my rivals will have me executed." Ethan studied her. "So you don't actually care about saving your species. You just want power." Lysara's expression darkened. "And you humans are so noble. Your history is written in blood and conquest." Ethan couldn't deny that. But he also saw something else in her, doubt. "What if there's another way?" he asked. Chapter 4: The Rebellion. Ethan proposed an alternative. A true alliance. Not through forced reproduction but through shared knowledge. Human scientists had made breakthroughs in genetic therapy. Perhaps they could help the Zorathians without the need for hybrids. Lysara was skeptical, but when Ethan transmitted the data to New Carthage's labs, the results were promising. This could work, she admitted. But the High Council would never accept it. They wanted a symbolic victory, a hybrid heir to prove Zorathian dominance. So Ethan and Lysara devised a plan. They would fake her pregnancy, buy time for the genetic research, and then expose the Council's corruption. Chapter 5. The Final Confrontation. Weeks later, Lysara returned to Zoreth Prime, claiming to be with child. The Council rejoiced, until Ethan, smuggled aboard her ship, revealed the truth to the people. Your leaders would enslave another species rather than seek real solutions, he declared before the Zorathian masses. Is this the empire you want? Chaos erupted. The Council ordered Ethan's execution, but Lysara stood between him and the guards. Enough, she roared. I will not let fear rule us any longer. A revolution began that day. The corrupt Council fell, and Lysara, not as a manipulator but as a reformer, took the throne. Epilogue: A New Dawn. Ethan stood beside Lysara as she addressed the galaxy, announcing the new alliance between humans and Zorathians. You defied me at every turn, she murmured to him. And yet, I find I prefer you this way. Ethan smirked. So does that mean I'm off the hook for the whole breeding thing? Lysara's eyes gleamed. Oh, Captain Drake, we'll see. And as the stars burned bright above them, Ethan realized, somehow against all odds he had won. The throne room showdown. The Grand Hall of Zoreth Prime was a cavernous space of gleaming obsidian and pulsating violet energy. The High Council, clad in their ornate silver robes, rose from their thrones as Lysara entered, her presence radiating defiance. Behind her, Ethan Drake stood, his pulse pistol concealed beneath his borrowed Zorathian cloak. Princess Lysara, hissed Grand Vizier Vexus, his elongated fingers steepled. You return with a human, but where is the heir? Lysara's voice was steel. There is no heir. A murmur of shock rippled through the assembled nobles. The High Council's faces twisted in fury. You dare defy the sacred decree? Vexus snarled. The survival of our species depends on lies. Lysara's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. You don't care about survival. You care about control. Ethan stepped forward, activating a holographic emitter. Footage of secret council meetings played before the crowd, proof that they had sabotaged Zorathian fertility research to justify conquest. You let our people suffer, Lysara accused, just to keep your grip on power. Vexus's eyes burned with rage. Guards! Execute the traitors! A dozen armored Zorathian warriors raised their energy spears, but before they could strike, the entire chamber erupted in chaos. The people's revolt. The crowd of Zorathian citizens, watching from the balconies, had heard everything. A young scientist, Dr. Kalon, stood and shouted, The princess speaks truth. My research was suppressed. Then, like a dam breaking, the people rose up. Zorathians tore off their ceremonial robes, revealing hidden weapons. Some guards hesitated, then switched sides, turning their spears on the council. Vexus screamed as the mob surged forward. You fools! Without us, Zoreth will fall. Ethan grabbed Lysara's arm. We need to end this now. She nodded, then raised her voice above the chaos. The High Council is deposed. By the will of Zoreth, I claim the throne, not through deception but through justice. The crowd roared in approval. The last challenge. But Vexus was not finished. With a snarl, he activated a hidden device on his wrist, a neural disruptor. If I cannot rule, then no one will. Pulse of energy exploded outward. Lights flickered. The entire ship's gravity faltered. Ethan's vision swam as the disruptor targeted Lysara's mind. Zorathian tech meant to reduce foes to screaming husks. Gritting his teeth, Ethan tackled her out of the way, taking the full blast himself. Agony seared through his nerves. He collapsed, his body spasming. Lysara's scream was raw. Ethan! Vexus laughed, until a plasma bolt burned through his chest. The traitorous vizier fell, revealing Captain Rin, Lysara's loyal guard, holding a smoking pistol. For Zoreth, Rin growled. The aftermath. Ethan awoke in a medbay, his body aching but alive. Lysara sat at his bedside, her usual regal composure gone. You idiot, she whispered, her voice trembling. You could have died. Ethan grinned weakly. Yeah, well, figured you still owed me that drink. She let out a breath, half laugh, half sob, before her expression turned serious. The council is broken. People have rallied behind me. But rebuilding won't be easy. Ethan sat up, meeting her eyes. Then let's get to work. Epilogue. A new era. 1 month later, the Galactic Accord was signed. A true alliance between Earth and Zoreth. Human scientists worked alongside Zorathian geneticists, not as subjects but as equals. At the celebration banquet, Ethan found Lysara on a balcony overlooking the capital's neon-lit spires. Still think I should have just obeyed your command, he teased. He smirked. If you had, you'd be a pampered consort right now. Instead, she gestured to the stars. You helped change the galaxy. Ethan raised a glass. To defying orders, then. Lysara clinked hers against his. To the future. And as the twin moons of Zoreth rose overhead, Ethan realized, this was only the beginning.